YouTube channel. I hope that you all are very fine with your family. In previous video we have started singing part from this 9th SS, and we have discussed about that constitution, about its importance and how to frame constitution and what is preamble. Up to that we have discussed in previous video. So now it is time to go further, and today's topic, as you can see on the board, is importance of preamble. What is preamble? That is discussed, and that example of preamble is given on page number 57 in your book, and you can see here that this kind of things is called preamble. And in short, if we can say that preamble is that introduction of a written document. So here we are talking about that constitution, so we can say that preamble is that introduction of the that constitution is called preamble. Now what is the use of preamble, how preamble is useful, what is the importance and what is the significance of preamble in Indian constitution, in our country's constitution, that is today's topic in this video. So I am on page number 58, student, and you are requested to keep this book with you so that you can understand this civic unit very easily. Page number 57, topic is importance of preamble. But before you have some time to note down these things which I have written here, this is topic of importance of preamble. Please note down this, student. Okay, so how preamble is important, let's see. The preamble as a soul of the constitution is also an important necessity. See, the preamble is, we can consider preamble as a soul of constitution, as it is the most useful that matter for the constitution. To understand the framing of any law or its interpretation, preamble gives proper guidance. If you want to understand any country's law and why that law is made and what is the purpose behind making that law, that is understood by the help of preamble. So you can see here, to understand the framing of any law means why that laws are framed. What is the importance of that law in the constitution, that is understood by preamble. Secondly, preamble gives proper guidance, okay, to understand the policy behind the framing of law. What is the policy behind framing that law? Means why that law is that made, what is the purpose, what is the object and what is the aim behind making that law, that is described or that is understood with the help of preamble. So second keyword is to understand the policy behind the framing of any law. So preamble is help to understand the framing of any law, to understand the policy behind the framing of any law. Preamble plays an important role. The preamble is a useful tool to avoid the trouble in the interpretation of the constitution. So preamble gives us that guidance, or we can say preamble gives us guideline when that trouble in law interpretation is occurred. At that time preamble gives us guideline. So it is useful to avoid the trouble in the interpretation of constitution. Means if anyone can't understand or don't understand the law properly, so to interpret that law means to make easy that law, that preamble is useful. When any ambiguity or obscure details in law arise, ambiguity means uncertainty, confusion. So when this kind of uncertainty and confusion arise related to law, preambles help in understanding and interpreting the laws. So at that time preamble help us to understand and to interpret that law. Means to make easy that law, means with the help of preamble we can understand that law very easily. Thus, preamble serves as a compass to understand the provisions of constitutional law. As you know that compass is very useful during air journey, in aeroplane and helicopter and in other things. So here that preamble is working as a compass in constitutional law. Means if we want to understand the purpose, the policy, the aim, the object and why that laws are made, so that is understood by the help of preamble, and it helps during ambiguity in law. Means if there is any confusion, if there is uncertainty, if there is ambiguity in law, so preamble help us to understand, to make easy that law, so we can understand the policy of that law, and preamble help us to interpret the law, why that law is made, that is proved with the help of preamble. Preamble is nation's unity, integrity and is the standard trust of brotherhood among citizens who are having noble sentiments and ideal. So as you know that preamble is necessity of the constitution, so it is very helpful to build nation's unity, to build nation's integrity and to build brotherhood in nations. So we can say that very pivotal kind of thing preamble is for any country's constitution. Preamble is backed by high ideals and goal. You can't see anything, or you don't see anything lower class things or lower class matter in preamble, as it is full of high ideals and goals, as that is the cross part of the country's constitution. So we can say now that nation's unity and integrity is built with the help of that preamble. Preamble is considered as a standard trust of brotherhood backed by high ideals and goals. Means preamble is full of necessary information, student. This is the importance of preamble. These keywords will surely help you to understand and to remember all the detail about the importance of preamble. Again you have some time to note down this thing, student. Please note down this thing. Okay students, so now let's see pillars of preambles. Means which are the pillars of preamble. With help of those pillars, preamble can stand strongly. So today's next topic is pillars of preamble. Let's see what are the pillars of preamble. The words inscribed in the preambles are inscribed means written. So the words which are written in preamble are: we, the people of India, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic, republic, justice, liberty, fraternity and equality. Here we will study the following three main pillars of the preamble. So see, as I told you that preamble is the introduction of any country's constitution. So in introduction you can find these kind of words. Here you can see these capital letters are being considered as that pillars of preamble. So there are three main pillars of preamble that will be discussed in this topic, and what are those? So those are democracy, socialist and secularism. First we'll discuss democracy. So there are three main pillars: democracy, socialistic and secularism. Democracy, the ultimate sovereignty, that is supreme, of power is the people according to Indian Constitution. See, sovereignty means supreme. So ultimate power of any country is, we can say, people. There is no particular regime of any one particular person, instead it is with the people. Means people are the center point of any country. Democracy, the word is derived from Greek word demos, means people, and kratos means power. If we just make two parts of this word crazy. So we can say that Greek word demos comes from demos word came from Greek language, that Greek, and it means people, and kratos means power. So if we connect these words, so people's power is called democracy. Country's power is not within a group of people, instead it is within the people of the country. Means country's power, which is the power of country. So we can say country's people is the power of the country. Democratic state administration is such an arrangement in which there is equal justice for people to social, economical and political, and having equal rights of participation. Democratic state administration. So this democratic state administration arranged such rule, or we can say such arrangement is done with this, by this democratic state administration. So each and everyone in the country, or each people, get equal justice for social, for economical and political, and having equal rights of participation. Means each and every person of the country have the same rights, the equal participation socially, economically and politically. In democratic India, people elect their leaders through their choice by casting what to represent those leaders in the parliament, and thereafter assuming the post of prime minister and his and her cabinet. As we all know that in our country India, we people choose our leader by giving vote them. So in here we are talking about our democratic India. So here we choose our leader, and after that, thereafter assuming the post of prime minister and his and her cabinet. Executives do not have absolute power. So here if we talk about executives, so they do not have supreme power. They are given specific time limit. Similarly, the voters elect state and local level government. So this government at local level and government at state level is chosen by the voters, means by the people. Hence, democracy means by people, for the people and of the people. As I told you that in democratic country, people are the center. People are at the center. So if we want to define the democracy word, so we can say that democracy means by the people, for the people and of the people. Cabinet consists members of parliament. Cabinet of minister is responsible to the parliament. Means cabinet ministers are responsible to the Parliament. Any citizens of India who possess required constitutional eligibility can contest the election. You can also means any person who has the citizenship of India can contest the election, means they can stand in election, they can be that leader of that area. Ministerial positions are not acquired hereditary, and there is no any scheme, or we can say there is no any rule for hereditary the position. Means suppose we have had Mr. Narendra Modi, we have as our Prime Minister. So there is no any rule that son of that Mr. Narendra Modi will be the next Prime Minister. No, there is no any kind of hereditary rule in this Parliament. Each elected government has 5 years of tenure, and the timeline, or we can say the timing of each government, elected government, is 5 years. This government works under the principles of constitution, and therefore it is known as responsible government. And this government, we choose government by ourselves by giving votes to them, and this is known as responsible government. Means this government has many responsibility in their shoulder. The democratic government is based on liberty, equality, and feeling of fraternity, and continuously work to achieve these goals. Fraternity means brotherhood. Means government should be that equally for all. They should give that liberty to each and every person, and that feeling of fraternity means brotherhood should be there. And these are the important pillars, we can say, for the government to rule the country peacefully. The constitution disseminates, means spread, the power to the people to cast their vote according to their free will, and thereby instills confidence in the constitution. Means constitution just gives power to vote to elect people's leader. So that power is in hand of people to their free will, and thereby instills confidence in the constitution. So students, here these first, second and third paragraphs have been just discussed. So first I will write the keywords for those paragraphs. After that we will go for paragraph number 4 and 5, which are there on page number 59. So let me write the keywords for this first, second and third paragraph of democracy. Supreme power is with the people. People are at the center. Greek word demos means people, and kratos means power. By giving vote, people choose their leaders. We can say, if we define this word democracy, democracy means keywords need to be written here, student. But first of all, you write these keywords. Consist member of parliament any citizen of India who possess possessing constitutional eligibility no hereditary position. 5 years of 10 years. So these are the other keywords for paragraph number 3, students. Please note down this. Cabinet consists members of parliament. Any citizens of India possess constitutional eligibility can contest for the election. No hereditary positions are required for this election, and the timing of this election is 5 years of tenure. Means any that minister should work at least for 5 years. Page number 59, paragraph number 2 from that page. The Constitution of Democratic India renders fundamental rights, principles for political directions, Parliament, members of Assembly, independent and impartial justice, and election commissions are those provisions which make our country democratic in every means. Means this Constitution of Democratic India help in fundamental rights, in principle of political directions, parliament, in member of assembly and many other fields. Adult suffrage. Suffrage means right of voting. That new word I am writing here. Means the citizen above 18 years of age can cast his or her vote to one's choice of leaders without discriminating caste, creed, religion, language, gender, education and income or birthplace. But it is essential that the citizens are enlisted in electoral list. So any citizen who is above 18 years can cast their vote, to their choice of leader. But they should not be discriminating by caste, creed, religion, language, birthplace, gender or any other thing. But it is essential that the citizens are enlisted in the electoral list. Means the name of that citizen or that person must be there in electoral list. So then after he or she can give vote. So we can say here another keywords is citizen above 18 years can cast his or her vote without the discrimination that caste, creed, religion, language, gender and many more. Means without any this kind of prejudice or this kind of discrimination of caste, creed, religion, language and gender, a person who is above 18 years can cast their vote to their favorite or their one's choice of leader. So this is democracy, students. You have some time to note down these keywords. Please note down this. So students, here we have completed our first pillar of preamble, that is democracy. Let me revise it. See, democracy word, it is a combination of Greek word, means demons means people and kratos means power. Democracy means that power of people. If we want to define this word democracy, so we can say that it is by the people, for the people and of the people. In our India, we have democratic country. So in this India, we have our rights. When people have the right to choose their leader, they can vote if the person is above 18 years old, and they can vote of his or her own choice leader, and without any kind of discriminating their caste, creed, religion, language, gender, they can vote their that favorite leader. Now, talking about that cabinet parliament, so we can say that cabinet consists member of parliament, and this cabinet of minister are very responsible minister, we can say. Any citizen of India can stand in election if that they have that constitutional rules constitution, and therefore it is known as responsible government. See, if we talk about this keyword, so any citizen of India possess means if we want to stand there, or if we want to just to stand there in election, or we want to be a leader, so we must possess constitutional eligibility that is decided by that Constitution of India. So that eligibility you must have for that election. Each elected government has 5 years of timing and this government works under the principle of constitution, and therefore it is known as responsible government. So they have to, means the leaders who have been elected have to follow the constitutional rules, and the democratic government is based on liberty, equality, feeling of fraternity, and continuously work to achieve this goal. So this liberty, fraternity means brotherhood, equality, and that loyalty we can say must be there in this democratic government. Means members have to, or members should work for the equality of the people, liberty of the people, and feeling of fraternity among the people. So this is our democracy, the first pillar of preamble. In our next video we will discuss socialistic and secularism. Now it's time to give you homework, student. So your today's homework is today we have discussed about the importance of preamble and the pillar of preamble. So that will be given to you in homework. So your today's homework is what is the importance of preamble, and secondly write about democracy in your book. So these two questions answer you have to write in your notebook, students. We will meet again in next video, and after that we will discuss about socialistic and secularism. Till then, please take care of yourself. Thank you.